Hi, welcome to my channel. This is Rachel. This week I went to the Museum of Flight. If you come to Seattle, this is definitely the place you cannot miss. Recently, I'm considering to have more YouTubes about Seattle and especially about the place to go and the place worth to eat, and so don't miss it. And if you like my channel, don't forget to subscribe it. And if you like this YouTube, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. The Museum of Flight is the largest independent non-profit air and space museum in the world, with over 175 aircraft and spacecraft, tens of thousands of artifacts, millions of real photographs, dozens of exhibits and experiences, and a world-class library. The museum and its people brings many kinds of incredible history of flight to life. In 1964, a small group of aviation enthusiasts realized that important and historic artifacts representing the evolution of flights were being lost or destroyed at an incredible rate. To aid in the preservation of those artifacts, the Pacific Northwest Aviation Historical Foundation were established with a goal of saving significant aircraft and relative artifacts to educate the public about their importance. It soon became clear that a place to store and exhibit those artifacts was needed, and in 1965, the first official Museum of Flight exhibits were put on display in a 10,000 square foot space at the Seattle Center, the location of the 1962 World's Fair. Okay, let's go with the tour guide and experience it together.
Well, we're all here now. I'm George Wilkinson. I've been a docent here for about 7 or 8 years, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to the Museum of Flight. Because we're in Seattle, Boeing Field, a lot of people think we're the Boeing Flight Museum, but we're not. We're actually a private 501(c) corporation, and we're the largest private air and space museum in the world. We can't compete with the government, because they're arm up to their elbow in the public treasury, but we have to raise money to buy all our artifacts and so on. Anyway, it's our mission to become the very best. On December the 17th in 1903. Now, there have been a lot of people that have come along since and said, well, we flew long before the Wright brothers, but no one can prove it. So the Wright brothers go down in history as the first man-powered controlled flight in history. Now, there's a little bit of trivia here that interests me. It may not interest anybody else in the world, but Wilbur was the older brother, born in 1867. Orville came along 4 years later in 1871. Wilbur died in 1912 with typhoid. Orville, believe it or not, lived until 1948, and he died in Dayton, W. And the reason it's called that is that Boeing had a partner named Conrad Westervelt, who was a naval engineer, had been to MIT, and Bill Boeing and Westervelt were flying around Puget Sound in an airplane built by Glenn Martin, and Glenn Martin down in California had taught Boeing how to fly. Well, they flew this Martin plane around for a while, and they said, after World War I, the government had the armed forces flying the mail in the United States, and they did a terrible job. They were crashing and burning all over the country. And so in their wisdom, the government decided to turn it over to private enterprise. And they came up with contract airmail routes, contract airmail routing team, was to fly the mail from Chicago, Illinois to San Francisco, California, and that's the one that it wasn't all that successful. The program was canceled mainly because they came up with a better one. So we got this prototype from it. Also, people wonder about the Gossamer Albatross. In the early 1980s, a rich person in Britain offered a prize for the first person that could fly a man-powered aircraft.
The concept for the Museum of Flight complex began to take in 1975 when the Port of Seattle leased the land on which the Boeing Red Bomb now sits to the new museum for 99 years. The Red Bomb, the birthplace of the Boeing company, was saved from demolition in its original location on the Duwamish River and floated by the river barge to its current location. The Red Bomb was restored in 1983 and became the first permanent location for the Museum of Flight.
Immediately above it, we have an interesting airplane. It's called a ZB, and it gets its name from the designers for the Granville brothers. And they designed this as a racer for the Thompson Trophy races that were held every year. We had a large display here for Amelia Earhart, and we wanted to get an airplane of her era, and we scoured the country and came up with this Lockheed MD, which is the aircraft type that Amelia Earhart tried to set to circumnavigate the world and was lost over the Pacific Ocean and has never been found. And
if you come to Seattle, I really suggest you guys to come to this place. There are so many cool aircraft, and you can see a lot of like historical flights and those things, and you will never be able to find in another place in the world. There's an elevator can take you to the upper floor, and from there you can have a better view of the exhibition. If you go to the second floor, you can go to the tower at Boeing Field. So that's a very good place to go. And if you go there, you can stand in a place which you can view the ground and monitor the operation. Another place us to go is to cross the bridge and go to the space gallery, and because that's a very big piece of the exhibition, so don't miss it. Okay, this is the end of the YouTube video. I hope you like it, and don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe my channel, and I will share more interesting experience in Seattle with you guys. See you next time. Bye bye.